Hello and welcome to the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts Matt Sterling and Brandon and Michelle Brooks. We are breaking down anything and everything Utica City. Let's go. Hello everyone. Welcome to episode 16 of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Your usual hosts are here once again, and this week for the third time we are joined by Katie McKinney.
Hi everyone.
Thrilling victory today in Utica. The team fought back from a 5-3 deficit to win 7-3. Segura and Bordeaux led the way with 3 goals for Segura, 1 goal and 2 assists for Bordeaux. How'd you guys feel about it?
Definitely could have gone my entire time watching without the 5 unanswered goals by Harrisburg. It
was 7-5. That's at 7-3.
Whatever.
Did I say 7-3? One of those days.
I definitely, it was great, jumping out to an early lead, 3-0 between Christian, Bo, which we have not seen very much activity of, and I know we've talked about that, and Liam. And then, unfortunately, then you're looking at, 5 unanswered between the second and third quarters, which definitely was a downer, for lack of a better term. It was definitely hard to watch for a little bit.
There was a really good crowd, though. I just looked up the attendance tonight for the game, and it's 3,520.
But it
So
was
not strong.
quiet.
I think everyone relied on the Thundersticks a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I didn't, because I definitely did,
I
compared
absolutely loved them.
You broke 2 sets.
Shh.
So did I.
Passionate fans.
Violent.
At least I wasn't wearing out my hands like I do every game. I mean, I'm definitely going to use the tools that are presented to me if I can save my hands from getting, extremely sore after a game. So those were a very nice addition to the game for sure. But yeah, they were very, unfortunately, like most of them are, they were flimsy and broke or popped open, which sucked.
Although Matt Huber did give me his set.
Yes.
You point out Utica kind of struggled there in the second and third quarter. It took almost 12 minutes to find the goal the first time in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the next, a minute and a half later, they score again. 17 seconds into the second quarter, they open it up 3-0, and then, like you said, Harrisburg scored 5 unanswered.
Which, I brought this up before. This was the first game that we saw JJ or Gerger or whatever you'd like to call him. I know he goes by both, from what I understand. And I said when I did Harrisburg, way back when we were going over each individual team, that he was going to be a threat. And he made his presence known right off the bat, Well, not right off the bat, but you know what I mean. He definitely...
Yeah, he scored the first one there for Harrisburg and then assisted on the next 2.
And that definitely... That opened it up for the team in general, I felt. That opened the floodgates.
Dude's got a rocket.
Dude's good. He's very, very good.
Your dog doesn't like us talking about Harrisburg.
No, our dogs are definitely not Harrisburg fans.
I think it's noticeable. Just a smidge.
The Beagle is actually a Joey Tavernese fan.
I thought he just liked balls.
That too.
Anyway.
Anywho.
First goal was by Kristen Segura, assisted by Jake Schindler at 11:57, and it was a good play.
Potty mouse. Our dog agrees, apparently.
Segura with another hat trick.
Yep.
Yes, he
Dude's on
did.
fire.
The guy's got serious goals. I think he's leading our team on goals this season.
Yes.
He is definitely putting Ricardo Dieguez a run for his money, because when they brought him onto the team, they said he likes to do goals, but I think Segura might be winning.
Goals.
Yes, do goals.
He
Well,
likes to,
Yep, he likes to do
I
goals.
think you mean he likes to score the goals.
Christian was honestly just kind of thrown at us. It wasn't even his choice. It was just,
that was a
hey.
trade.
But you know what? I told Brandon, the dude's already got 19 points. We're not even halfway through the season yet. I hate to say it. Slav who?
I mean, he's been one of the best players out there in San Diego, so.
Agreed.
But I gotta say, I think we might have gotten a good trade out of it.
We got a good deal.
It's not that
Segura
a
is
return.
very fun to watch on the field. He's very fast, he's very nimble, and he has no problem being where you need him to be when you need him there. He's very quick on his feet, and he gives good footwork.
I think both teams definitely made out very well on that trade. Slav is a great player. He has been contributing out there in San Diego, but Christian has definitely meshed very well with the team. Specifically looking at Dieguez and Moy. They definitely, there's been a lot of meshing, even with the a language barrier. He's been performing. He's been a very high contributor to the team.
It does help that we do have quite a few guys on our team who are bilingual. They do speak Spanish, so he's not alone, because he has a bunch of the guys who speak Spanish are attempting to learn Spanish to cooperate with him, and he's a really good guy. He really liked Matt's sign.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
So what, you stole it?
Spoiler
He didn't really
alert.
steal it.
I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna say this because I had the suite through work. It was weird watching it from up top for that third quarter while everything was falling apart. And I have my boss and a few of the other coworkers saying, I think you need to get back down there. Go spark something.
They were also asking a lot of questions, because they were making comparisons from hockey into indoor soccer, which there is some crossover. You still have yellow cards, you still have penalties, you have blue cards, but it's definitely faster pace in soccer than it is in hockey. Because most of the time in hockey, you're like, where's the puck? Where's the puck? Where's the puck? And in soccer, you're like, oh, please don't hit me.
At least we're protected by the net.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for the people on the sides, because there was a lot of shots out in the crowd tonight on both sides.
They're also the ones that peer pressured me into running around with the flag. So.
Yeah, I mean, talking about balls being shot outside the field. Look at Vitali just kind of ripping one off
He
just
did.
straight off the side of the field. I mean, I understand he was clearing it out, but
Weird clear. Scary
yeah,
clear.
weird clear.
I know.
Because he was like, I don't know, maybe 3 foot in front of the yellow line. And to kick it straight out, I mean, that was close to being a illegal procedure and ball at the top of the arc.
Yep.
I personally thought popped, I believe I can fly, popped in my head the entire time I was watching that. Totally not appropriate, but it was.
Hey, at least he cleared it. He tried.
He did. Second goal of the night was Bo.
That was Bo's.
That was Bo.
First
I've
one
seen a lot of.
I got. I guess it was his first one at home.
We haven't
I
you seen a
think
lot
so.
of him from him.
Most of his work this year has been as a distributor, as we pointed out last time.
Yep.
I think once the visa issues with Zuniga get cleared up, they won't have as much of a reliance on Bo as a distributor.
Which, yeah, it's definitely, it was definitely nice to see, the co-captain there actually produce. He hasn't really it's not that he hasn't produced. I shouldn't use that phrase, but he hasn't scored himself. It's always been he's provided it to someone else. He's made the opportunity for someone else happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see him have his own finish for a change.
Yeah, because
you could see the relief on his face.
Yes.
I just looked. Last season, he had 20 goals. To end the season, this season so far, he's only had 3.
With only one at home.
With only 1 at home, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then third goal for the night, second quarter, 17 seconds in.
Callahan's.
Callahan.
Poor baby.
I guess we absolutely should talk about Callahan there in the third quarter, where he went low to block a shot, and he blocked it with the side of his head.
Yep.
Yep.
He went down hard.
He dropped immediately.
He was taken off the field. He was walking.
Taken off the field.
He was gone for the rest of the night.
He was coherent enough to sign in the locker room for us, and we appreciate that. We wish him a speedy recovery. Speculation, it's going to be a concussion, and it's going to be a couple weeks.
We probably won't see him for a couple.
I definitely don't see him playing in St. Louis next week.
No
way.
At least 2 weeks probably. Concussions can be really, and he took a really bad one to
that one rang his bell.
Yeah.
I was gonna guess concussion or neck injury because he was holding the back of his head / the top of his neck, so I didn't know if maybe he pulled muscles.
Yeah, a little whiplash in there from it.
From the way we were up on top, it looked like he just got knocked out cold and just dropped.
Yeah, he went down for a bit.
Yeah, he was.
Did you guys pay attention to what was happening as soon as they started play up again after that?
No.
So as a lot of times happens with these injuries, when play stopped, they give it to whatever team had the injured player, and then they distribute it to the other team, which is what ended up happening. The officials gave it to Coughlin in the goal, and he threw it down to the other end, and they let Harrisburg have it. I can't say what was said on the sidelines, but from what it looked like is Coach Pat Healy of the Heat was arguing that it still should have been a corner kick.
He got injured. But I can almost guarantee you that Pat Healy would have thrown a fit if it had been reversed. Would have thrown a fit if somebody had gotten a corner kick off that.
You also, there are, some flops. You can tell the difference between a flop or someone actually being hurt.
You definitely don't take someone off the field on a flop.
Yeah,
they do not go back to the locker room on a flop.
They don't come back out on a flop. They stay, they go into the box off the field for a few minutes and come back out. And Liam did not come back.
Nope.
He wasn't at 72, and he's usually one of the guys who, he's there.
I'm sure he was getting sent for an MRI.
He probably was.
Probably 75% of the time, anybody who flops, you're not going to see the trainer rush out onto the field.
No,
and then you're not going to see for the trainer to call for him to leave the field.
Yep.
I think it was a good call in the long run, though, and you could definitely tell when he was walking off that something wasn't up.
His bell was run. If it was football, he would have been looking out his ear hole.
Mm-hmm. But next few goals were all Harrisburg, unanswered until the end of the third.
Yeah, what do you guys see wrong there?
All of it.
A lot of them were just a few. Well, all right. I'm gonna address a couple in particular. The Nelson Santana goal, unassisted, was 100%. And I hate to throw him under the bus, but I put that one squarely on the shoulders of Vitali. He did kind of what Toby did last week, played with it semi in front of the goal by himself, and Nelson got away from him. He got it away from him, one-on-one with Coughlin. He had all the time in the world to put it wherever he wanted in that goal, and it was all up to Coughlin to read it, and he was not able to. So, I mean, it's, it really comes down to those two. I mean, that was a big failing on our part, letting that happen. I mean, I've always seen Harrisburg be extremely aggressive on defense, especially on our end of the field. They will charge Coughlin. They will charge whoever has the ball down there. They will put a lot of pressure on them. And at least once a game, they will get a goal off of it. They will take it away from the defender. They will make Coughlin screw up, and they will get a goal off of it. And I've seen it time and time again. Get rid of the ball quicker against Harrisburg, for sure. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
There's never a dull moment with a Harrisburg game, but it's definitely different than when we go against the Blast. Harrisburg likes to put pressure on all the guys. They like to be up close, personal, and I think that's one thing that our team does not do well with, is having them be right on top of each other, because none of the other teams do that, so they don't have that kind of experience, and we only go against Harrisburg 3 times this season? 4 times this
that was
season?
the third time playing them. We
And
go
then-
down there twice in March.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big break between now and then, and maybe they can look back at this and kind of figure out, okay, can we go against this, and what are better plays that we can do to go against that type of...
But at the same time, from what I understand, Nelson used to play for Syracuse.
Mhm.
Nelson knows how some of the Utica players know how to play. JJ used to play for Syracuse. So it's not like there's not some sort of familiarity there.
Mhm.
And if we're going to go for throwing people under the bus for goals, there was one that Coughlin maybe should have been back in the box and he wasn't.
Wasn't that the one with
That the
Barry?
second one?
Second goal.
From Dominic Francis. He should have
Okay.
been in the box and he
Where-
wasn't. Dominic Francis had a wide open net.
What was it? It was Gerger in the corner against Onua, and he kind of was getting around him, but hadn't gotten there yet. And yeah, that's the one where Coughlin ran off the line, had the delayed blue card, and left the net wide open. So all Gerger did was bounce it off the wall right back into the box.
Yep.
It does say that Andrew served a blue card for it, but I never saw him go
Because
in it.
Goalies
The-
won't.
because of possession.
Oh, okay.
So they're not going to stop play as long as Harrisburg had possession of it. They would have delayed it and gone back to it. Yeah.
Sorry.
So they just counted that as the goal during the power play.
Yep. Which made sense. I mean, in the long run, that probably benefited us, because if they had counted that after the goal, that could have potentially led to another, and it would have been, potentially a 7-6 game.
And from what I understand, too, goalies will not serve a blue card. They'll find somebody else to serve it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it says they had a substitution violation. 2
Yeah,
game
that was
penalty
later, third quarter.
for
That's one that Momo served.
Yeah.
Momo. It says multi-bench penalty for him because there was too many players on our team. But
Yep.
those were the only two blue cards the
Or
entire
second
game.
quarter, yeah.
And last time we went against the Heat, there was a lot more. So I
There
mean,
should have been more.
That was the only 2 official blue cards.
yeah, there could have been there.
There were a
should have been
couple. There were a couple tackles both ways that were from behind, didn't get the ball. You saw players come up, or I should say, stay on the turf, grabbing their Achilles because that's where they're getting hit.
And I question sometimes what the refs see, but I understand like their point of view is completely different than what we see. Like even just being up in the top portion of the odd, even for third quarter, it was a lot different to see the players and how they acted versus being across the way on 212 because you have a different perspective of the field.
Yeah, but there was some of those plays where, I mean,
They were in the middle of the turf.
and even you said, Matt, they were literally right in front. It happened right in front of them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing was called. And then there was, I remember there was another one down the field where Bo got, we didn't see it, so I'm not going to, say one way or the other what really happened. But, from what we saw, it looked like Bo got tripped up and they weren't even playing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, later on, Bo shoved the same guy to the ground, and they didn't call that either. So kind of tit for tat there.
I would say they were consistently inconsistent.
Yeah.
There was a lot of plays that they could have called on, and they didn't on both sides. So
I'm kind
Yeah,
of
we'll take it.
Yeah.
It wasn't the worst officiating we'd seen all year.
No. Because while Harrisburg had some dirty plays, they didn't call those. But at the same time, even if we had some moments, they didn't call ours either. So
At least, yeah, like you said, at least they were consistently inconsistent. So we'll take that.
I'll take it.
And that's how the dice fell, and whatever. We'll take it as is.
I think the really woke up our team is when Liam got hurt, because shortly after that they kind of woke up again and they're like, okay, enough's enough, and then we got the next 4 goals.
well, we also kind of broke the third quarter slump there because Christian had a goal at 10-10 in the quarter.
Okay, that
With
broke that scoreless drought, but
assistance by Gonzalez.
bad third quarter again,
Mike-
3-1.
Yep.
Um,
No. Oh yeah, 3-1. I'm sorry.
It's really fun to watch Gonzalez and Segura play off each other. They're just a team that when they're on the field together, they're so much fun to watch, and there's usually a chance that one of those two are going to put something in the net.
I noticed they shut down Diegues a lot tonight, too.
They did.
he had a few shots, and a lot of them, that he got off just weren't finding anything.
There was a couple times that they had 3 people on Bo trying to get the ball off of him. 3. And I mean, I understand he is definitely a powerhouse. I mean, he can make things happen and he can score goals. But it just astounded me multiple times where they just put all those resources, 3 players out of their 5, not counting the goalie, on the field on one person. I mean, that leaves 2 other people unattended. I mean, if he had gotten the ball away from them, which the times that I saw it didn't happen. They were able to overtake him and get the ball away from him. But if he had been able to get it away, I mean, that's a huge risk on their part.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of weird. Like, every time we go against the Heat, they always put multiple players on Schindler and Bo. They really don't do that to any of our other guys.
Yeah, Segura tore him up all year.
They
Yeah.
left Schindler actually pretty unattended this game.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they primarily went after Bo.
Didn't see a ton of Schindler.
No, you didn't.
You mean, he passed the ball around, but
He got a goal.
you didn't see much
He
activity.
did get a goal,
Yeah.
though.
Yes, he did get a goal,
He
but
got a nice clean goal in the 4th quarter at 3:11, assisted by Coughlin.
Makes me sad, though, it wasn't his butt this time.
Schindler's butt should be on the...
I still maintain play of the game should have went to Tim Goldman. Trying to get that ball back.
Oh my God, Goldman is awesome though. Like I thought that was him trying to get it off there. It's stuck. It's not like you can get it down very easy from that spot. So way to go, Goldman, if you're listening.
not even in the game and gets play of the game.
Oh yeah, he
Unofficial.
totally should have.
Unofficial play of the game.
Yeah.
Keeper's corner play of the game.
That kind of wraps up everything Harrisburg that I want to talk about. Anything you guys have left?
There's still 2 more goals.
Oh, yeah, but they put it away. They stopped the 6th attack.
Bordeaux had a great one though. He got the 6th goal at
It was the give and go.
6:08, and Ricardo was right there with him, and then Segura assisted by Momo.
Yep, Christian
To get his hat trick. Yes, we do have to say, Segura was able to get another hat trick, which is
What, his third?
fantastic.
Yep.
That boy's got
Third in
some
8 games.
serious skill.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so fun to watch.
Don't underestimate Mighty Mouse.
Sorry. Banana.
I should
Well,
mention I cleaned up that Mighty Mouse design and re-uploaded it, so hopefully it won't be as
Green.
pixelated and grainy.
So the 3 stars of the game, they did put them up. First is, of course, Segura. 3 goals. Can't beat that. Andrew Coughlin is in there for his save rate, which is .545. And third star is Mr. Jake Schindler himself.
Shin unit.
Yeah, I don't know if those are the 3 I would pick. I probably would have gone Segura at 1, Gerger at 2, and Bordeaux at 3.
I mean,
All 3 of them had 3 points.
Coughlin had some amazing saves. There was 15 shots, 16 shots per each side tonight, and both goalies, I have to say,
He gave up
were phenomenal in the goal. Like, the moves that those guys can do in that short amount of space is just very wow.
6 saves.
And Andrew's just got a really good save rate right now, I think.
I mean, .5s, or what was it, .54?
0.54. So
Yeah,
54.
54.5. He had 6 saves to 5 goals allowed.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nothing to scoff at, but, I mean, you'd like to see it higher.
We always want to see it higher. Like, 100% save rate would be amazing, but it's just not probable. But I'm looking for him right now. His current save rate altogether is .67.
So
Still not bad.
Yeah, 67% of the time he's saving goals. That's not bad at all.
No, and things happen, and that's a really good save rate. But it's also about halfway through the season, so hopefully he gets it even higher before the end of the season.
Right.
So next week, they're on to St. Louis Ambush for 2 games.
Woo.
They play Friday night, 8:35 Eastern Time, 7:35 Central. And then they play again Sunday at 3:05 Central, 4:05 Eastern.
Both in St. Louis.
Yes. So back-to-back game. Well, not back-to-back night, but
I'm excited to see them go against the Ambush, but I like both teams, so.
St. Louis coming off of a huge victory today. They beat Milwaukee at home 8-7 in overtime.
What?
Which is
And it sounds like I'm going to have to watch that game on replay because at one point St. Louis led by 5.
Yeah.
Then they trailed by 1, and then they won it in overtime. So that one sounds like a thriller.
Yeah, you're going to wait for me because I want to see so bad because I've been hoping for St. Louis. And the fact that it's kind of funny, like when you look at the stadium, I'm looking at the count right now for the game, and it's 2,904 in attendance at that game.
Yeah, it's also a Green Bay Packer football game.
Yep.
So
Oh,
Soccer.
wait, is that the
Yep.
game you have on right now?
yeah, that's the game that's on right now.
Oh,
Packers are in the playoffs. Milwaukee's.
So soccer ceases to exist right now.
I mean,
So I'm just looking at the scoring summary for the Milwaukee St. Louis game, and yeah, that was definitely a crazy back and forth. I mean, you're talking the first 3 quarters. It was at the end of the first 3. It was 6-2 in favor of the Ambush.
wow.
The Wave had been playing with a 6th attacker since about 11 minutes 30 into the third, because it shows that St. Louis scored against the 6th attacker. From then on, every single goal, except for one for Milwaukee, was with 6 attackers. One at the end of just with 30 seconds left at the end of the third, and then 3:25, 5:25, 10:49, 12:11, all of those were with 6 attackers. So for Milwaukee to hold St. Louis with 6 attackers on, no goalie, is incredible. That's got to be one heck of a game. I definitely want to check that one out myself.
All right,
And-
I have a question. I thought the sixth attacker was one of the ones that most teams do not use unless it's like, okay, we need help. Let's throw the sixth attacker on.
Yeah, they did need help. They were down by
Yeah.
4 goals at home against a team that they should have easily handled.
No, that was when they were down by 5.
Down 5. Okay.
Yeah, that
They're
was
down
when when they put their sixth attacker on. That's when St. Louis scored their sixth and made it 6-1, and then they had 6 attackers on ever since.
That's out of the ordinary, though, isn't it, for
Oh, absolutely.
a team to have that amount of time with the sixth attacker?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And
that's a
still
full
defend the
quarter.
goal.
And that's a full quarter with a 6th attacker on, and then to get it 7-6 at the end of the 4th with St. Louis putting on their 6th attacker
Mhm.
and with 19 seconds left scoring the tying goal. I mean, that's got to be one heck of a game. I absolutely want to watch that now.
Yep.
Matt, you're banned because I have to work late tomorrow until I come home.
Poop. Yeah, I was going to say, what? You look at the time, and Tony Walls tied it to send it to overtime with 19 seconds left.
Yeah.
I always think it's fun to like rewatch some sections of the games because you know what's going to happen and you're like, okay, I can see like how that would line up better now that I know what happens after. Like looking back at the games that we've lost, I enjoy looking at them going, okay, like at the very beginning of the game, watching the first game of the season versus like a game we watched just today. You can see the growth of all the teams. You can see how they work together on the field. And it's something I've enjoyed this season is just going back and rewatching old games versus current games.
You like going back and watching us lose? What is wrong with you?
I am a glutton for punishment. Look who I'm dating.
Why?
Oh, okay, yes. Michelle, do you have something to say, or did you just want to crowd the camera and scare
I
us?
just want to crowd the camera and wonder why. Why?
I think Matt should make his announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so kind of keep this episode short. Before I make the announcement, what do you guys think the scores are next weekend?
Which game?
Both of them.
I mean, they're both St. Louis at home or away.
Mhm. Same.
Ambush just is coming off a really big win, so I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to go with Utica 6-5 in the second game. I think we're going to be too tired, so I'm going to go 5-4 in favor of Ambush.
You're only saying that because your family is from out that way.
I also like both teams. Don't make me pick. So I'm going to go 1-1. We're going to lose one, and they're going to win one. Wait.
We're going to lose one, and they're going to win one. Heads I win, tails you lose.
Yep. Everybody wins. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I think we're going to win one, and Ambush is going to win one just because they're going to be on a high, and double games is going to be rough.
I'm going to go a different route with that. I'm going to say that they're going to come into it cocky because they beat Milwaukee. I still think that it's going to be a decent scoring game. I'm going to go with probably a 7-4 Utica. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a super high scoring game, but it's definitely going to be. I think that it's going to get to St. Louis's head a little bit that they went and beat Milwaukee, and then the second game, I'm going to say it's a little bit closer, but I'm still going to give it to Utica, and I'm going to say 6-5. But I'm going to give both to Utica.
Okay. Michelle?
I'm going to give both to Utica. I'm going to say 7-5 for the first one and 6-4 for the second. Like
Okay.
Brandon and Katie said, they're going to come off of a win beating Milwaukee. And it's going to, I hate to say it, going to kind of be like one of those moments of how we walked into Rochester. It's
Mhm.
Rochester. It's not going to be something that we can take seriously, da 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 da. It's going to be somewhat similar for St. Louis because they're going to say, well, we beat Milwaukee, we can beat Utica.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, honestly, if Utica's kind of... It's all or nothing at this point for them, it feels like.
Well, I'm also going to say 2 wins for Utica. I don't think either of them are going to be that close. I say that for two reasons. Number one, we do have the option of putting Perella in goal one of the nights. I think this is the perfect time to see him, give Coughlin rest on the long road trip. Number two, while the Ambush are 4-5, which ties them in the win and loss column for the fourth spot in the East, they're 6 based on their goal differential. The other buyers for that fourth playoff spot are currently the Harrisburg Heat at plus 21. They're at 5-3. I'm sorry. The Ambush are tied for 5th with with Baltimore and the Kansas City Comets. All 3 teams are 4-5. Baltimore has a plus 12 goal differential. The Comets have a plus 7 goal differential. The Ambush have a minus 22. I don't see them being able to hold up to the offense that is Utica.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they definitely.
You want to know the teams that have worse goal differentials than the Ambush this year?
Rochester
at -60.
Yep.
The Sidekicks at -39 and the Seawolves at -38.
Don't say that. I want Dallas to be so good this year.
It's so bad for Dallas.
It's just I don't think they're going to be that close. I could absolutely see the first night ending up like 8-2.
Ooh.
Maybe Sunday afternoon. Maybe Friday's the closer one, Sunday's the blowout, but one of them is going to be a 5 or 6 plus goal game for Utica. The closest it gets is going to be like a 3-goal game. And again, I'll say like 5-2. I think this is a good weekend for Coughlin to show up, and especially if they opt to keep him in both games.
I think they're going to keep him in both games. We haven't seen them pull Perella in it all this season, and I don't think that's going to change until maybe we go against Rochester again, where they're going to throw our newer guys in just for them to get experience, because that would be a good thing for them, is to go against someone we've gone against before and we kind of know our feet, and they'll be at a home turf.
Yes, the Ambush are starting to come together. Some of those rookies they have are starting to show a little more polish, but Utica's too much even if we're down Coughlin. Or Callahan, I'm sorry.
We have our off days, so I'm kind of like torn.
As long as the guys don't go in there expecting blowouts both times.
Yeah.
And on that note, speaking of Callahan, what's your announcement, Matt? We kind of got a topic here.
All right. For those of you that listen and don't follow along on our social media, the 4 of us live in Boonville, New York. Tuesday night at around 10 o'clock, a fire call went out. 11 o'clock, a second fire call went out. There's a fire structure about 3 blocks from where I live, or a structure fire 3 blocks from where I live. We could see the flames from our front lawn.
They were like 3 feet coming off the roof, and you could smell the smoke just drifting down. And they were fighting it until I left for work the next morning.
Yep.
Around 7:15 in the morning.
It was so cold when I left for work. Yep.
It was
5 buildings were lost, businesses and apartments.
6 businesses, 7 apartments, 15 people displaced, more lost their jobs. We're trying to do what we can to help out. So the T-shirt designs that I have and had those lined up to slowly roll out as the season went on, each received an individual print. Those prints were then signed by their respective player.
Except one.
Except Zuniga's, because he's currently still in Costa Rica.
And Segura still has his in his locker, but we are told by Coach Hall that he will get it to us at some point.
Yes. Segura thought it was a gift, and he loves it that much.
Keep it.
he could
The
still
guys
have.
all said they loved the designs and they were so happy. They were apparently taking pictures. So they're really good and team approved.
We'll be putting pictures out in the next couple of days. Hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have them up on eBay. They're going to be auctioned off. All proceeds will go to benefit the victims. There is currently a GoFundMe. If you search for Boonville Fire, they're approaching $25,000 donated. It's the current goal. And again, it's 15 people just in the apartments that were displaced. That includes the children. And then all those that lost their jobs. 25,000 is barely going to put a dent in it.
But let's be thankful that Boonville Police Department and the state troopers did their job and got all 15 people out
Yes.
with no injuries, no casualties, nothing.
There were a few pets
There were a few
lost
pets.
in the fire, unfortunately.
Where our hearts are going out to the family that did lose their pets, because pets are not just animals, they're family. Oh wow.
They're close, 24,728.
That's only in a few days too, but
There also is one of our straight out of the penalty box t-shirts that we got team signed. We will be donating that to a benefit here in 2 weeks. It will be Saturday the 25th.
let me double check.
Yep,
At a-
Saturday the 25th.
Yeah, at a little place in Boonville called the Awesome Country Barn. They're working on getting some entertainment in. They're going to do a Chinese auction, I believe, / door prizes, however they want to do it. But that will be there available to win. It's a $10 donation to come in the door and help this small community.
Yeah, for anyone who is interested in doing that or making a donation, their address is 106 Park Avenue, Boonville, New York 13309. They do have a Facebook page called Awesome Country. You can just give them a call on the phone number listed, and they said you can drop off donations when they're open. Their hours are 10 to 6 every day of the week. So if anyone wants to donate, feel free to, and they would appreciate it. We will be running that shirt over this week.
That's kind of our big announcement. Trying to do what we can to help. We appreciate any support in this, helping get this downtown back up and running.
Shout out to the team and coach for taking the time to take all those and sign them. Like, they didn't have to at all. Most of them are not local. And they were really excited to and just help out the community. So shout out to coach and all the team for taking that time.
Yeah, I had Kate hold up the general poster, and he just kind of saw it and chuckled and shook his head and came right over.
Although rumor has it too, one of the businesses is actually reopening next month.
Yes, they have found a new location.
Yep.
But
So
they still have to get contractors in to get that all up to code and get things set up the way they need. So there goes any insurance money.
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
yep. There's
Whenever they get the insurance money, because everyone knows how that goes.
Yeah, they had a water main break in that same spot not even like 48 hours ago when we're recording the podcast, that they had to go back in there, move everything around just to get to the water main to get it fixed. So it just keeps growing, so it keeps putting off the investigation.
I would rather have a water main break than have a rekindle.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that's why they demolished it. And the firefighters who have also received some donations from the community, because you had Boonville, Lowville, Port Lyden, Whitesboro, Deerfield,
Westernville.
Everyone was called in for this.
There was 10 agencies.
10
And
different
plus
agencies.
even more on standby.
There was volunteers that stayed up over 10 hours after getting out of their jobs to turn around and have to leave to go back to their other jobs from fighting this fire.
Yeah.
That
The Forceport, or the Boonville crew was called in at 10.
It
They
burned from
didn't have
8
Main Street
hours.
reopened until 2 p.m. the next day. So
I talked to one of the volunteers, and he said they were up He had been up since the start of the fire. That means he was up and on his feet and in his turnout gear for 18 plus hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's always hard when something like this hits a community, and it's also amazing to see how much love and how many people want to help out and rebuild the community. So it's an amazing to see how much people are putting out there, how much people are supporting each other and helping the people who lost not only their businesses but their homes. We don't know these people, at least not very well. We know the businesses, we walk by them, but if this hadn't happened, we would probably not know the name. Like, we would know the names of the business, but we probably wouldn't have gone out of our way to go there or anything particularly.
Right.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's definitely, unfortunately, anything big like this in a small town like ours. I mean, Boonville's a few thousand people. It's not like it's a large town. So anything that affects, kind of like anything that affects one affects everybody. So I mean, just because it was displaced 15 people, businesses, even if you had never even been there, it's one of those things that it affects everybody. I mean, that was, it wasn't necessarily a historical part of the town, but a lot of people have a lot of fond memories in some of those places. One of the places that was there was a diner, and I mean, that's, we used to go there all the time for breakfast, and now we can't because it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
the only thing left of that restaurant is the sign. Everything else from the fires completely destroyed except the sign from the restaurant. So
And there's no telling how long cleanup will take because they have to get inspected to see if there's asbestos. And if there's asbestos, that means more permits. That means longer time to get it properly removed.
Yep.
It's going to take a long time for the town to recover. We're just trying to do our part to help.
If it's anything like the last block fire, yeah, there's going to be asbestos.
I'm
those
sure
buildings
those buildings
are
looked
old. They're a couple hundred years old, I believe.
We have the posters here. I know you guys have seen some of them.
I haven't seen them signed.
You haven't seen it. They look great.
And the guys signed them in such fun ways. We'll eventually get cigarettes back.
They're good size. I mean, most of them are 18 by 12. So.
Okay.
Momos.
There's Momos.
Momos. The general post, which has been online, is out, but it's got a little twist to it.
The general one's been making some rounds. I'm seeing.
It has, yeah.
Even the team took that one and ran with it. So
Liam's, I think, came out really well.
I
love
like
Liam's.
Liam's.
It's really clean, and it does have that play off of his minor rap career there. So for anyone that didn't see the Utica City video.
Check it out. It's awesome.
Yes, you don't want to miss out on Liam Callahan singing along with Fergalicious.
For word. So, yeah.
I won't lie, I could sing along with it too.
I think everyone does.
High school.
I cannot.
I'm not even gonna try.
I don't know all the words. And oh my God, please stop.
I'm the F to the E, R, G the I, E. And I'll shut that down right now before we get sued for copyright infringement.
Oh boy. We turn the podcast off and he'll probably sing this all night. Yay. A lot of the guys were coming over after the game and just saying how much they liked the posters and that they wanted copies. So it's awesome. They were taking pictures and putting them online. And so if you see posters that have individually done for the UCFC team, it is courtesy of Matt on Keeper's Corner podcast.
Yeah,
So what you're saying is we should probably print the rest. We should probably print them again.
Probably at some point.
The guys were talking about how much they wanted copies of them, so we're dropping off a flash drive so they can have personalized things for their locker, because apparently it's kind of bare.
That you can tell they came out a little rough, so I've got to find some better images and just clean them up.
I like
and
Zunigas.
At some point, we'll get Zuniga signed and auction that off as well, or maybe offer it as a giveaway by that point. And we'll hope to have Segura's back here at some point as well.
If not, we'll have to print a new copy and get him to sign it and hopefully keep that one.
Let's just print it and let's just reprint it and have him sign it.
Okay.
I just want at this point, just let him have it.
He might as well. It's hanging in his locker already.
Someone should get a hold of Coach then, because he apparently was really excited for it, and I don't want to take that away from him.
Absolutely not. Yeah,
He's such a sweetheart.
never actually been able to talk to him, but
you couldn't see it because I get rid of the background, so it's transparent. So when it gets sent through Messenger, it makes the background black. So you can't see some of the images, but yeah, Sensei Goldman's.
Awesome.
He liked his so much.
Sure he did.
Bo slapped the big signature on his.
Like, it's a couple inches. It's at least 4 inches tall on his.
Ow.
So we have
Super
one
Bowl.
every player. Minus Salas, who has not left Brazil, and Zuniga, who is
In
in
Costa
Costa Rica, and Segura, who kept his.
Oh, by the way, don't forget, Mac. Segura scored a goal on an assist from Ricardo.
Yes.
Or no, was that Jake? I think Jake did.
yeah.
That's Jay. You're trying to just make me fail at rolling my R.
Ricardo.
Ricardo.
And on a second note, we have Chewbacca joining us.
Apparently.
All right. Before
A
this
very
gets out of
drunk
control,
Wookiee. Is he a Wookiee?
Is that everything from us this week?
Yeah,
I believe that's everything.
I'm done.
Yeah. We don't want to cut it too short, but we're right about our usual target length, and it's a Sunday night. I know you're tired. I know I'm tired. We have work tomorrow. There's some editing for me to do here, and we appreciate everyone for listening. We appreciate anyone that can help out with the donations here in Boonville immensely.
Make sure to share it on social media and get the word out, guys, because it's for a good cause, and it's tax write-offable because technically it's a donation.
Also, we appreciate Utica City so much. Coach, like I said, he found us after the game, took him right back in the locker room, brought him back out to us.
We never got our Sharpies back, though.
Whatever. I've got another dozen in the car.
We had a good conversation with him after at 72. I mean, we had a good long conversation with him just on a personal level, so that was nice.
Yes.
The guys are really great, and they were so supportive when we told them what was going on, and Coach told them what this was for, and they were just so nice. And some of them probably might bid on these just so they could say, yeah, I got to keep my own signature, because they really liked them.
Or they'll, or maybe they'll like someone else's and they'll want to keep theirs, so they'll
like
someone else's. You never know.
Bossy liked his. He thought it was really cool.
Watch, Liam ends up winning Nate's. Nate's ends up winning Liam's.
I mean, that
they're
would be
roommates.
funny.
Him, Andrew, and Lee. Yeah. Those two and Andrew.
So that's everything for us this week. Please make sure you're following us on Twitter at Keepers Corner PD, or on Facebook, Keepers Corner Podcast. We'll have the link up there for those posters here in the next couple of days. Hopefully tomorrow, if I can get to it around work.
It won't happen.
I will do what I can. And thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Katie.
Have a good week, everyone.